Trent is top of the list for Real Madrid. That's the reality. Since March, Real Madrid want to go for Trent. Now, in a couple of weeks, they will be able potentially to talk to Trent in case he doesn't extend the contract before at Liverpool. So Real Madrid will attack for Trent Alexander-Arnold for sure.
It's Rog. And in the midst of this holiday season, as any football fan knows, the most important wish lists to Santa are really just the names of the January transfers we all dream that our teams will secure. Announce Beto! So it's huge joy to close the year as we review it in the form of transfers and get ready for the January transfer window, which opens on New Year's Day. Yes, that's what you're celebrating when the clock hits 12, and then trademark slam shut February 3rd in Europe's top leagues. It slams shut when Fab says it can slap shut. And we're going to speak to the man with the only fingers faster and busier than a North Pole else. It's WhatsApp in sentient form, the transfer guru who tells everyone to move when he's ready in global football, right down to the third division in Chile. It's the host of the Here We Go podcast on the Men in Blazers Media Network. It's the institution, Mr. Fabrizio Romano.
Ciao, Rog, how are you? Hello, my friend, and all to our listeners and friends. Very happy to be here.
Happy holidays. Where are you spending Christmas, Fab? Tell us what the greatest Fab Romano family tradition is.
I'm going to be with my family in Napoli, so very traditional, very easy, but that's what I love about it. I need some time with my family, so I will be there close to Antonio Conte and this fantastic team. They're doing great this season.
I know, you'll be able to smell that Antonio Conte cologne wafting. Do people eat turkey in Italy, Fab?
We don't. In Napoli, in the south of Italy and in Napoli, the tradition is to eat fish on Christmas Day.
I'm interested. Any particular fish or just whatever?
No, it depends. It depends family by family. But spaghetti vongole is usually our favorite in our family.
Oh, I think the invitation got lost in the mail to me, Fab, but I'm turning up. Look, Fab, everyone across the internet is drawing up their year-end best lists, which made me curious. Of all the transfers that came to be in 2024, as you look back on this year, which single one was the biggest that you broke? What are you most proud of?
For me, the most special probably was absolutely Kylian Mbappe, because I was waiting for this one for years, for ages, working on every single detail, working on every single really small part of this story. And now finally to see Mbappe in white is something that we were really waiting. And then I'm really proud about the story on Dani Olmo going to Barcelona, because that one was not that easy to cover with Barcelona in a secret mission to Leipzig to sign him. That was a very good one, with all people expecting Barca to sign Nico Williams, and then at the end of the day was Dani Olmo. That was a good story. And then also a couple of others. In England is always busy with Chelsea, so some of the many Chelsea signings, I could mention many, but it's been quite a good year, a good season, let's say like this.
When you're covering Mbappe, are you genuinely in the contract, like seeing clause by clause be negotiated?
No, it's been really complicated because of the timing, to be honest. The timing was difficult because Real Madrid got to the Champions League final, Paris Saint-Germain to the semi-final against Borussia Dortmund. So at the beginning of the story was like, really likely to have a final Real Madrid-PSG, and it means how they will manage the situation for the Mbappe transfer till the final. Then PSG were out of the Champions League in the semi-final, so the final part was easier, but the timing of every single communication for that transfer was extremely complicated. All the sources were very nervous. I was trying to respect everyone who was involved in the story, so that Mbappe one was really crazy.
Let's look ahead to the next month, which is wide open. Transfer window. Before we do, let's take 1 second to say a big thank you, grazie, to our great friends at Volvo, who are the presenting partner of the entire Men in Blazers holiday extravaganza. You know that I have a deep love for Volvo. I've owned one for many years. Be sure to check out this incredible program, the Overseas Delivery Program, which offers you GFOPs an incredible opportunity to experience Swedish food, culture, hospitality and engineering in one life-changing trip to Sweden. I'm going to take it this year and I hope you'll come with me. And talking of fantastic trips, transfer window creaks its way into our life for a month. Teams scampering to salvage a season or fix things on the fly. No team currently needs fixing more than, and I can't believe I am saying this, Manchester City. Yes, winners of 6 of the last 7 Premier Leagues, treble winners just 18 months ago. They're looking downright human right now, and they fallible, something we have not seen from a Pep Guardiola team in his nearly 16 years as a manager. I think they're 22nd in that Champions League table of doom. They've lost, as we pod, 8 out of the last 11, including the derby, to Manchester United. They never really seemed to replace Julian Alvarez in attack when he left for Atletico. That was definitely part of it. They are now ravaged by injuries. Fabrizio, how many fresh new baby blue bodies will be shipped into Manchester City? How many are they looking to buy? How many will they bring in January?
It's going to be busy, Roger. It's going to be really busy for them, as you mentioned. It's something new for Manchester City, first of all, because they are never used to sign players in January. It's not their style. Maybe some youngster, but never going to sign players for the first team to make an impact immediately. So it's something completely different for them, a new market for them, but they're already working on that. I think it's going to be 2 or 3 signings in the January transfer window for Man City. So it's going to be a massive impact on the market. My expectation is for sure a midfielder, a holding midfielder to replace Rodri, obviously, till the end of the season. Then I expect them to sign a new fullback, a player who can play maybe more on the left than on the right. But I think City want to do something in that position, left back. Also, I think the Mateus Nunes performance against Man United was probably one more indication they need a player in that position. And then you mentioned the striker, and that could be a possibility. For the striker, it's different because Man City in the summer, when they sold Julian Alvarez, they were exploring the market, but they really believe that there is no striker available today to be a backup for Erling Haaland, so someone who is convinced to be on the bench for many games and then just enter for the final minutes. So they don't believe there is plenty of strikers in the market with that kind of availability and also with a normal price. Now in January, they will assess the market again, and so there is also a possibility City bring in a new number 9.
You know what I'm thinking. You're thinking it too. Beto for 100 million. But I want to talk about Rodri. ACL, out for the season. The midfield, once locked down, is not like a wide open corridor. Who are they looking at? Can you put names to the Rodri replacement?
It's not easy because in terms of dream target, there is a player who is a dream target for all the top clubs around Europe, for Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, and many others, and it's Martin Zubimendi. They all want to sign Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. The real point is that Zubimendi, at the moment, is still not opening the door to a January exit. In next summer could be different, but for January, the situation is still quite around him, so I'm not sure it's going to be possible to go for Zubimendi, and I think City could do something surprising. So not a superstar, not a big name, but more kind of a talent who can develop also and be an understudy for Rodri when he will be back at the end of the season. So that's the idea, that's the view. I'm not sure that it's already around the correct name. I think City are studying some name that is not probably the biggest headline, but could be a player for present to replace Rodri, but also future to play as backup.
I want to touch on one story which is kind of surreal. They have been linked, tabloid linked, to Paul Pogba. Story is incredible because Pogba is still such a singular presence. There is no doubt about that. But after spending the past year and a half out of football for doping, it's almost like the Jake Paul of global football. But he is available again in March on a free transfer. What can you tell us about his future?
I can tell you that with Manchester City at the moment, there are no concrete contacts. He was close to joining Man City before rejoining Juventus. That was the reality. He was really close. Then he decided not to make that happen because of the Manchester derby between the two teams. Of course, he didn't want to create a problem with Man United fans. But now Pogba is training regularly in Miami. He's ready. He wants to be back as soon as possible. At the moment, nothing really concrete with European clubs. So still waiting to see what's going to happen. I think it's still something that we have to keep an eye on for the next couple of weeks because Pogba wants to be back as soon as possible. So he's working hard, training hard. Let's see. From South America, Saudi, they are calling him every single day, but Pogba is keeping his options open.
Pogba to the Columbus Crew. Make it happen. Get the people what they want. But with Manchester City faltering, number of teams may sniff blood. Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. It's honestly going to be the story of the season. Who will make a high-price gamble, almost like a poker player pushing their chips into the centre and compete for that title via the transfer window? This is a unique, rare opportunity to try and win the Premier League. Liverpool currently lead, roaring in Arne Slot's first season. They've turned over the coaching team seamlessly. But they may have more difficulties next summer when, yes, we all know this. We've talked about it for week after week. Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold are all out of contract. How many of those three will be at Liverpool on the first day of next season?
I think there is still a very good chance to see at least two of them at Liverpool next season. So at least I say, because it's really open with all of them at the moment. The reality is that they are negotiating with all of them. Trent is top of the list for Real Madrid. That's the reality. Since March, Real Madrid want to go for Trent. Now, in a couple of weeks, they will be able potentially to talk to Trent in case he doesn't extend the contract before at Liverpool. So Real Madrid will attack for Trent Alexander-Arnold for sure. But Liverpool are still there, still talking to him. With Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk, they presented the new contract proposal, and it's quite a good one. So the negotiation is ongoing. Liverpool are working on that. They know how important it is to extend these contracts, but also the timing to quite some pressure from the squad and from these big stars for the upcoming months. It's a really important moment for them. So I think Liverpool still have a very good chance to extend these contracts, and they're working hard on that. And also Ibrahima Konate will extend his contract at Liverpool really, really soon.
One possible addition to Liverpool's backline, the greatest Scouse American in United States international history, flying left back Anthony Robinson, now captaining Fulham, adding an assist or two, almost on the regs. 27-year-old is currently amongst the best fullbacks in the league. He's been linked to Liverpool. Do you expect Jedi to move this January? And is he too old for Liverpool's model? Because also they linked to Bournemouth, Milos Kerkez.
For Milos Kerkez, I think keep an eye on Manchester United, because Man United are also looking for that position, and Man United, I'm told, are more concrete than Liverpool in this monitoring activity for Milos Kerkez. For Anthony Robinson, at the moment, what I'm hearing is that it's true that Liverpool have been following him and scouting him, but their preference at the moment is still for younger players. So the age could be a factor on this deal. But let's see, because he's doing fantastic, as you mentioned, and the situation could be open. I don't think it's one for January. I think Fulham want to keep him till the end of the season. The manager, especially Marcus Silva.
I will tell you, it will kill me if Anthony Robinson of Everton's Youth Academy goes and soars at Liverpool Football Club. But the other traditional team in the title race in modern times, second last 2 seasons, Arsenal, glut of injuries, particularly in the back line, times honestly resorting to playing a midfielder in a training code at fullback. Will Mikel Arteta buy in January? Will it be at the back line? Or is the target the much talked about striker who feels for Arsenal almost like a crock of gold at the end of the rainbow?
Yeah, there is a possibility Arsenal do something in January, but I can guarantee to you that as of today, they have not decided whether they are going to invest big money or not. Remember that Arsenal have a sporting director, but he's leaving the club, Edu. So they have Jason Nato who can help in this process. But usually before you invest big money on a number 9, you want to have the whole structure in place. So even the new sporting director, Arsenal really appreciate Roberto Labe, who did a great job at Real Sociedad. He's leaving the club, and so he could be a strong candidate to be new Arsenal director. So I think Arsenal could do something, but in terms of big name, big stars, I know many people, for example, dream about Viktor Gyökeres, this fantastic sporting striker. I think these kind of names are more for the summer rather than for the January transfer window.
Manchester United dreaming of rejuvenation under Ruben Amorim. The big coaching changes has been made, and now the task is to try and align that roster with his distinctive, no compromising style. One shot was Marcus Rashford, left out of the squad completely in the Manchester derby. A lot of talk, some of it driven by Marcus, that the 27-year-old could be leaving the club almost imminently. Club are searching for, quote, a cultural reboot. Will we see Rashford on the market in this window? And is Saudi Arabia really where he might end up? I mean, the nightlife, Fab.
No, I think we have to mention here that for Man United financial fair play this year, 2025, and next year, 2026, is going to be a really important topic. So for Man United to generate revenues from outgoings, players leaving, players to be sold, it's really important. And Rashford could be one of them. So even before this case of the Manchester derby last Sunday, the training sessions and everything, they were already considering before that Marcus Rashford could be one of the players to be sold in 2025 to generate money and reinvest on different positions, different kind of players. It's sad to see, because obviously he's a Manchester boy, he's my United project phase, but at the same time, we know that something could happen there. So my expectation is between January and summer, because in January at the moment, to be fair, as of now, from what I'm told, there is still no concrete bid, contact, anything between European clubs, Man United, Marcus Rashford representatives. So let's see what's going to happen in the next weeks. Let's see if someone is going to approach Man United and try reach an agreement. But at the moment, very expensive and expensive salary too. So not easy, I think, to see Rashford moving in January in Europe. From Saudi, they are very attentive to the situation. That's the reality. But at the moment, also there, still too early to say.
Is there one player in Europe Ruben Amorim will add this January to advance the execution of his 3-4-3 system and try and end that midfield donut?
Look, there are, for example, some names they really appreciated Man United. I was mentioning before Milos Kerkez because on the left wing back position they want to do something. And so Milos Kerkez is appreciated. They've been monitoring Theo Hernandez at Milan for a long time too. So that position will be covered by Manchester United for sure between January and summer, again, based on many available. And then the midfield. He wants fresh energy in the midfield. I think in the summer Casemiro will go. I think in the summer Christian Eriksen will go. Many players will leave Manchester United in that position. Keep an eye on several players, including Ederson at Atalanta, the Brazilian midfielder, one of my favorites here in Serie A. He's a machine. He's a player they've been monitoring even before Ruben Amorim's arrival. My view is that he's the perfect player for Amorim's system and idea.
Next summer, Canadian sensation, our CONCACAF cousin Alphonso Davies will be out of contract at Bayern Munich. There's been some frustration around their inability to time to a new deal. For years it was assumed he would go to Real Madrid, but there's recent links talking about Manchester United being sniffing around our man. Where do you expect Alphonso to lean over the next 6 months?
Look, first of all, Alphonso will not sign a new deal at Bayern, from what I'm told, till the beginning of the new year. So it means that Alphonso wants to take his time to understand what kind of proposals are coming, because officially you can talk to new clubs from the 1st of January. So Alphonso will consider these possibilities in Premier League and Real Madrid, because Real Madrid are still there, from what I'm hearing. So Real Madrid remain in the race for Alphonso Davies. From Premier League, there is interest. Man United, I told you, they want to do something for the left wing back. Alphonso would be perfect candidate. But at the moment, my information is that Kerkez, Theo Hernandez are players they prefer. And then it's important to say on Alphonso Davies that Bayern presented a new contract proposal. So Bayern are insisting, Bayern are pushing, and Bayern will be insisting, from what I'm hearing, in the next weeks, after Christmas, after New Year, to make it happen. So it's a really open situation, but Real Madrid are absolutely still there.
Over to Spurs, mate. Big Ange country. They've been without starting goalkeeper Guglielmo Vicario after beating Manchester City in November. He's out for months with a fractured ankle. Did he continue to play on to secure that 4-0 thumping? Postecoglou keeps saying he's happy with backup goalkeeper Fraser Forster. Is he being honest, Fab? Or is he just trying to boost the confidence of Fraser before Tottenham make the move in January?
No, I can guarantee he's being honest. To be fair, I was also asking the same question to my sources, because I had the same doubt, but I'm told that he's being honest. I think Tottenham will not sign a goalkeeper in the January transfer window. That's what I'm told. I think Tottenham will do something, especially probably in the offensive positions, so to add one more player there where Richarlison has been injured. Timo Werner is not performing as they were expecting. So I think Tottenham will do something there.
Off the field, today around the world is a national holiday. Happy Friedkin Day, Fab. The glorious Friedkin Group has received approval from the Premier League to buy Everton Football Club. Although honestly, I don't know what Everton are going to do, because we only really start to play when we've got a points deduction. What can you tell me about which players will now arrive now that we have more than coins down the back of the club sofa for transfers?
I think it will take some time, some days now to assess everything. So I don't want to throw out names just for the sake of it. You know, it's not my style.
Please do, Fab. Just make crap
no,
up.
But they are preparing something for the summer. But at the moment, for the January window and for the summer, of course. But now with new owners, obviously, it's going to be different. Also, the structure, the vision they will have. So it's going to take some time before they will say, okay, let's go for this player. But I'm hearing that they will do something in the January transfer window. The Friedkin Group people know very well the Serie A market. So I'm hearing that they've been already monitoring some player in Serie A. I can't say more at the moment because we have to see if they decide to advance or not. But Everton are looking at the market, and so let's see what's going to happen.
Oh, I've got to tell you, every Everton fan is just like looking at which official club Instagram post Richarlison likes and losing our minds that the king is about to come back into town. We can but dream. When you say Serie A, I think you mean Scott McTominay. Fab, we have reached the very last question. It is a cliffhanger, but I want to just quickly say thank you again to our great friends at Volvo, who are the presenting partner of the entire Men in Blazers holiday extravaganza. Find out more about the incredible overseas delivery program. I'm going to go on it, I hope, in April to Gothenburg. Oh, come and be with me. Let's look ahead 2025 is just wide there before us. What do you expect to be the biggest transfer storyline in the year ahead? Blow our minds, Fab.
For the summer, Viktor Gyökeres. Viktor Gyökeres will leave Sporting in the summer, and I think he could leave for less than 100 million euros, which is his release clause. Not because of the value of the player, he's scoring like 3 goals per day, so it's not about that, but it's because of a private agreement he has with the club. So Gyökeres could leave in the summer for a very good price. The biggest clubs in Europe are already fighting each other to get in touch, obviously, with the agents, with the player, present the project. And so I think in the summer, one of the big stories is going to be Viktor Gyökeres for sure. What else? I think in January, for example, keep an eye on Paris Saint-Germain because many players could leave and this could be an opportunity for clubs like Colomoni, for example. Randall Colomoni is out of the project at PSG and now could be one of the players to watch in the January window. Milan Skriniar also, many clubs looking for defenders, and so that could be an interesting one. There will be many movements. If you want one more name, Antonio Silva at Benfica is a player that many clubs are monitoring. George Ment's client, so I'm sure it's going to be busy.
Oh, it's been a long-held dream of his. I do know this for a fact, to play for Sean Dyche. Fab, you are a sage and a crystal ball in human form. Thanks to you and your team for everything. Listen to this gentleman on the Here We Go podcast on the Men in Blazers Media Network. Fab, arrivederci, buon Natal.
Thank you, my friend. A new contract for Christian Pulisic. Let me remind you this because that's another story we have here from Italy.
Tell the people what they want. You're going to tell us he's a very important player.
Absolutely, he is. He's a crucial player for Milan. Difficult moment for the club, but he's doing great and the new contract is ready. So I wish you all the best for your holidays with this news on Christian.
Yeah, of our one true king who was born in a manger in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Fab, to you. Big love.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Ciao, guys.
Courage.